All right, now we can officially start. So why are you here, friends? Drop it in the chat. Why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here? Continue working on myself. Yes, yes, yes. Love it. Love it. I want to heal. What do you want to heal, Holly? Yes, if you hang around us for very long, we rarely take just one-word answers or three-word answers. All right. What do you want to heal? Healing. Yes, healing and engaged. Engaged as in relationship. That's why. Okay. Divorced just 6 months and have been getting therapy. And how do I start the dating scene? Yeah, great question. Yes, we will remember that question when we get to questions. I want to show up as my 100% authentic self. Love that, Jason Prayson. Beautiful. And we love that Jason Prayson is here. I'm not the only gentleman on the call. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So now I can say, ladies and gentlemen, and keep it authentic. All right. Go, Jaden. Go, Jaden is what? Oh, Jason. I was going to say, my son is named Jaden, Jadon. I was like, wait a minute. Do I know this person? Do they know my son? I'm like, what did you do? No. All right. What else? Learning to trust a man after divorce. Yes, Holly, I got it. Yes, yes, yes. I get it. I get it. I get it. Okay. Anyone else? Why are you here, ladies and gentlemen? Why are you here? Hello, Janae and Andre. Is that right? Janae and Andre, did I get it right? Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Fantastic. Glad to have you here. So let's see. Markia says, need to learn to fully trust
I'm
myself.
still on video. I don't know how to turn it off.
There we go. Need to learn to fully trust myself and carry that into the decisions I make and being confident in the decisions I make. Yes, yes, yes. Raise your hand if you want more confidence, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody in all facets of life? Yes, me. I've got, yep, both hands up. Every little bit helps, one step at a time. So Casey, yes. And actually, as a big fan of Bobby Brown, those of you who are familiar with Bobby Brown, not the model, but Bobby Brown is in Bobby Brown, the former Whitney Houston husband. Every little step I take, I just saw that. Every little bit helps, one step at a time. I saw every little step I take. Oh boy, just showed what kind of music I really love. Fantastic. Okay. So we got some more folks dropping in. We're going to start, ladies and gentlemen, as promised, to bring some content, some expansive content on boundaries for couples here at the top of this call. So get your pen and your paper or your laptop or your iPad or your phone to begin to take notes, because I'm going to share a couple of slides here at the top of the call, and then we're going to take questions as we always do. Or yes, the Daring Deeply Journal, as Jason is showing up to the screen. Yes, Jason is one of our amazing one-on-one clients. And yes, so let's see here. Hold on one second. Okay, cool. I'm going to share my screen. Paige, we ready to go? You ready to go, babe?
We are ready to go.
Oh, we haven't heard your voice yet, babe. Which, by the way, those of you that are unfamiliar, this is Paige Stewart, the incomparable other half of Daring Deeply. So those of you, by the way, those of you that come here to the call, how'd you get here? TikTok? Instagram? Social media? Some sort? Yes? Okay. So, and remember, ladies and gentlemen, we want to see your face. So if it's all possible, we want to see your face tonight so we can connect with you. So the tick and the talk, yes. So you may not know, if you're here and you have been following me on TikTok, you may not know about Paige, but Paige is the other half of our coaching practice based here in the Nashville, Tennessee area. If you're not following Paige Stewart on TikTok, it's Paige Stewart _. Stewart is spelled that way, not S-T-E, okay, S-T-U-A-R-T. Follow her as well. And then make sure that you're following us on the YouTube channel. So, okay, let's talk about boundaries. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Let's see here. Maybe. You got any jokes, Paige? Sorry.
I have no jokes. Zero.
No joke. That's funny. That's actually a joke. Love that. All right, here we go. So let's see if we can get this thing to share. And let me know when we are up and ready to go. Yes, good? All right, fantastic. Okie dokie, R to the chokey. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have to start when we talk about boundaries, most especially, and by the way, boundaries with the self is the most important. But I know that we have folks on here who are in couples, maybe want to be a couple, have been a couple. Okay. We're going to specifically talk about the masculine and feminine energy when it comes to boundaries. But we first have to understand what a boundary is. And this is our definition. So again, get your paper out, get your pen out, and write this down. This is how Paige and I define boundaries. It is your external expression of your internal truth. Okay. And remember, a boundary does not become a boundary until it is externally expressed. Because we all have that inner gut feeling, that intuition, that feminine, by the way, feminine energy, not female. Okay. We all have that feminine intuition within us. And we know when we are truthful within ourselves. We know it. Now, we may not trust it. Okay. But it doesn't become a boundary. It doesn't become a yes or a no, in which is aligned with our truth until it is externally expressed, said or done. Okay. We all can feel it inside of us, but it's not until it's expressed. This is why boundaries are the most complex relationship aspect and why healing your inner wounds and trauma is grounded in having boundaries. Okay. So we have some tips. First, I'm going to talk to the gentleman on the call. Hello, gentlemen. How to hold boundaries specifically with your woman, with your wife, with your female partner. If your female partner identifies in her feminine energy, okay, as her core energy, this is how to hold boundaries with your woman. Number one, gentlemen, we lead, we do not coddle. Okay, we lead, we do not coddle. By the way, gentlemen, how do you lead? You lead by leading yourself first. And how do you lead yourself? You begin to heal your inner wounds and past trauma, okay? Which is a whole nother can of worms, which we may or may not get to tonight, okay? But the masculine energy is to lead. The feminine energy is to receive, okay? So I promise you, gentlemen, if you're listening to this either here live or if you're watching this on a recording, I promise you, if you get to the heart of your woman, she will say, I want to be led. I do not want to be coddled. Okay. Happy wife, happy life is bullshit. Okay. All right. She does not want to be coddled. She doesn't want to be put on a pedestal. Okay. She wants to be led. She wants to be led by a strong, dominant, powerful, decisive, masculine man, period. Okay. Number two, don't save her. Gentlemen, don't save her. Don't believe Disney. Okay. She's not Rapunzel in a tower. Okay. She doesn't want to be saved. She wants to be led. Okay. She is not a damsel in distress. Damsel in distress is a trauma response. We think if we can save her, then that will prove our worth. Doesn't work that way. Okay. Doesn't work that way. We have worth without a woman. We have our worth no matter what. Okay. We are not to save our woman. We are to lead. We are to support. We are to direct. We are to correct. We are to support. We are to provide, protect, keep safe and secure. But we do not save her. That is her responsibility. That is her interdependence. Okay? That is her boundary. And third, remain outside of her emotions. And I will tell you, all three of these I did for decades. Because I thought that was what you were supposed to do in a relationship, okay? But I was entrapped in my wounded feminine energy for decades. In fact, when Paige Stewart and I met, we were inverted. I was more in my feminine energy. She was more in her masculine. So I get this question often. Oh, can you turn this around? You absolutely can. And Paige Stewart and I are proof of it. And it's an every single day work agenda, isn't it, Paige? Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. We must remain outside of her emotions, gentlemen. We hold space for her emotions, but we do not inject them, or we do not, what's a good word? We do not, words are
Take
hard.
them on.
What's that?
You don't take them on as your own.
Thank you. We don't take them on as our own. Exactly. We hold space. I often say this, gentlemen, write this down. Ladies too. The masculine man is to be the seawall to the feminine's emotion. The seawall. You know what a seawall is, right? The emotions come crashing like waves, and you are to hold space for her emotions. You're not to take them on. You're not to coddle them. You're also not to shame them, which we'll get to in just a moment. Okay. So gentlemen, here are your 3 understandings of boundaries to hold with your woman. Let's move on. Ladies, shall we? Now you're like, oh, what do I do now? Yeah, what is it? Why is it not moving? There we go. All right. How to hold. I knew it was going to happen. Come on. There we go. All right. How to hold boundaries with your man. Get your pen and paper out. Okay. All 6 of these, by the way, for everyone. However you identify in your energy. Okay. Ladies, how do you hold boundaries with your man? Know that your emotions are all valid. Every single one of them. And you express your emotions communicatively through I feel statements. Okay. I feel frustrated. I feel exhilarated. I feel sad. I feel aroused. Okay. Every single emotion you have, ladies, is absolutely correct. It is. Okay. It's absolutely correct. Now, how it's expressed, okay, that's a whole nother conversation. But your emotions are not wrong. They simply are. Okay. So you're not too much and you're not crazy and you're not a hot mess and you're not effed up. Okay. Your emotions, because the feminine thrives in her emotion. It's how she expresses her truth. Okay. When Paige leverages I feel statements, it is then my responsibility as the masculine to hear it, receive it, and take action to bring resolution to those I feel statements. It's my job. Okay. Number 2, don't fix him. Ladies, do not fix your man. I promise you, if I could see everybody's face right now, I bet you've tried to fix your man at one time or another. Yeah, I see some smiles right now. It's okay. All right. So we're all in the same boat. Come on now. Okay. He's not your responsibility. Okay. You don't need another child. Can I get an amen? Okay. He is not your responsibility to fix. You want a partner, not a project. I love that quote. You want a partner, not a project. Okay. By the way, 30-year-old, 40-year-old, 50-year-old, 60-year-old men do not have potential. Those days are long over. Okay. He is on a route and a route. I love that. Andre just gave me a big smile. He's like, oh, damn. Okay. We don't have potential at this point, gentlemen. Okay. It's time to get off our ass and start healing. And when we start healing, we start leading. Okay. Our woman is not to fix us. We are to fix ourselves. And by the way, we don't fix ourselves. We heal ourselves because we're not broken. And lastly, claim your sacred space, ladies. Claim your sacred space. A physical, feminine space only for you. Paige has a room in our home. She's sitting in it right now. I hardly ever go in there. Okay, well, there's storage in there and sometimes I go in there. Okay, but I don't go in there. It's not my space. And if you could see the camera turn all the way around in 360, and by the way, the ladies in her surrender programs, in her courses, have seen the entirety of that room because it's part of her program. Okay. Begin to claim a space only for you. I don't care if it's a closet, if it's a corner of a bedroom, if it's an entire room, if it's a she shed. Words are hard. She shed. Okay. Claim some space for you. Okay. Where no one is allowed until you give them expressed written consent. Okay. It is imperative that the feminine has space for her to be her, to listen to her music, to stretch, to move, to do all the scentsy candles and the soft rugs and all the things. She needs that. Okay. All right. There you go. Quick and dirty. But these are ways in which boundaries can be held from a masculine and feminine polarity perspective. Cool? Give me a thumbs up. Cool? All right. Now here's your homework. Go and implement these. Post haste tonight. Okay. Let them settle in. You took notes, refer back to them, implement them. Don't just get on this call, listen, and then get off the call and keep acting the same way. Okay. We're all about integration in our coaching practice. If you're not doing, if you're not being, okay, then you're just sitting still. All right. Okay. Very cool. Helpful? Thumbs up. Helpful? Informative? Very cool. Paige, you got anything to add, babe?
Jason had his hand raised. I wasn't sure if he had a question specifically about this, but I would love to give him an opportunity to.
Yeah. Jason, do you want to
speak
come
if
off
you would
mute? I couldn't see Jason on my screen, so. Maybe.
Yes. So we were going back. The question was, remain outside of her emotions, hold space, but not. And what I took from it was hold space, not engage. Is that a proper thought on that? Because
question.
And where this comes from is if they're out of alignment with a civilized conversation and they're really in their emotions, how do we hold space if it's not a safe or productive space? And it's out of alignment? Can I'm going to put you and Paige on the spot because I know how you guys love to do this. Can you please show me a situation and how to maybe exit that in a way that is in alignment with the relationship and respectful for everybody in there?
Yeah.
I'll let you take the first since he's asking for the masculine perspective, and I'm happy to provide the feminine after that.
You betcha. You betcha. So this is where boundaries really come to the head, Jason, is does the masculine hold space for the feminine motion? Absolutely. Okay. Until it no longer feels safe to him. Then he exits the conversation with purpose. He communicates that he is needing time, space and time. He is needing space. I need space right now. I'm going to exit the conversation. I need to leave the room in order to honor myself and to honor you. I'll be back in 20 minutes. I'll be back in an hour. Okay. Now that stuff is really hard, especially when we're elevated in conflict, but it takes practice. This happened the other night. I felt that I was not in a place in order to hold the conversation, and I felt like it was getting heated. And I excused myself and I said, I am leaving the room right now. I'm taking some time. And I did. And we were in the home. I didn't leave the house. Okay. Which, by the way, so important. Don't escape. Don't run. Okay. Unless you are saying, I am getting in the truck. I'm going to take a few rounds around the block and I will be back in 20 minutes. Okay. Because if you leave and you ghost, okay, I don't care if it's your wife, it's your girlfriend, it's your probably girlfriend, I don't care. What that does is that helps support wounding from her abandonment trauma. Even if you know you're coming back, okay, lead her by remaining in the tension, even if you have left the room. Okay. By the way, it's the man's responsibility, it's the masculine man's responsibility to lead through conflict, to ensure that resolution comes to place. It's just like any other facet of leadership in a relationship, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. It's the masculine man's responsibility to lead, to step up. And it's hard when we are triggered, right, Jason?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yes. So if we do not feel safe, if we feel like that we are going to escalate and say something or do something, okay, it is our responsibility to know that, to collect our own emotions and have a resolution for ourselves and include communicating to our partner, letting them know what's going on. Paige?
Helpful, Jason.
Yeah, I'm curious to see your perspective.
Yeah. So I love what Casey put in the chat, and David touched on it too. She says, when they leave, it can be very triggering for those of us with abandonment issues. And she says, very. And I know that I personally can relate to that, which is why communication is the utmost priority here. So if you feel that you are so dysregulated and you're having a hard time communicating that you need to excuse yourself or put a pause on the conversation and take some time, send a text message, write a note, send an email, anything that's going to communicate that you need to take a break and that you're not leaving this relationship or you are not meaning to abandon her, that I love you. This is important to us. It's important. This is important to me that we find resolution together, and let's take a pause in this conversation and reconvene in blank amount of time, 20 minutes, an hour, the next day, whatever feels aligned at the time.
Thank you.
Does that land?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Full circle. Yeah. I just wanted to see the bigger picture. And I knew what David was going to say, because we've been talking about this same topic and working through some stuff. And I really wanted to get a female perspective of what, have you been in a situation where you've been so out of alignment with the intent of the conversation and bringing up stuff that has nothing to do with it, to where you don't even hear them trying to exit?
And that could be a really great opportunity to take the pause. Pauses are incredibly effective in conflict because you're creating space, you're creating distance. Both of you can find a little more self-soothing, a little more regulation for the two of you to then come back together, perhaps with a different, more settled lens. So the pause, there's a lot of power in taking just a little time out, a break. And if you feel that your parts, so we teach parts work for those of you on the call that are unfamiliar with the way that we work with our clients. If your parts are screaming at her parts and you're just kind of in this parts war, is what we call it, then that essentially is ineffective. You're not getting anywhere. It's both of you just trying to protect yourself so strongly in effort to keep the other person as far away as possible. So you're right. That is ineffective. You have reached a standoff at that point. And so the best thing to do in those moments is to take a break. And the more reps that you get in and with these types of experiences and exchanges, the easier it is going to feel for you to communicate like, okay, all right, I've identified, here's another moment where we need to take a pause. Okay, and last time I took 20 minutes and that felt effective, or the other time I took 10 minutes and that didn't feel effective. So you're going to be learning your edges here, and your edges are going to fluctuate every single day and every single time a new conflict rolls around. And the more that both of you are leaning deeper into yourselves and each other, allow for this to be a fluid process.
What I'm finding is that it's taking me a day or two to get my ego out of the way, to listen to what was said from her side and put that into perspective. Like, that is the way my parts are working right now. And I'm actually seeing progress instead of it taking it not developing, it not being heard or worked on. So continued repetitions, what you just said, is the more reps you get, the better you get at it. And thank you. That I feel complete with that. Thank you.
Yeah, and congratulations on your progress, Jason. It sounds like you're doing an amazing job with gathering awareness and implementation, and are seeing some changes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very cool. Yes. Let me make one more comment about boundaries, and then we'll jump in. When you establish boundaries with someone with whom you haven't had boundaries before, you're going to most likely face some steep resistance, because they will see it as you changing the music to your dance. And they're going to think, wait, whoa, wait, I was allowed to do this. I was allowed to say this before. And now you're changing the narrative. Yes, I am. Right? So it may come across as being cruel or mean or a wall. Remember, those who don't live by boundaries will reject boundaries, because Boundaries can feel scary. When someone says no and they mean it, and they've said yes every other time, could feel to the other person as abandonment, which, by the way, is not your responsibility to coddle them. If you feel safe and secure in establishing your yes or your no, ensure that you're communicating to them why it's a yes or a no. Far too often, when we're working with clients in this space, the temptation is to go home and go, okay, here's my boundary. Look at what I've learned, right? And the other person goes, holy shit, who are you? I don't like this. Nope. I had a family member years and years and years and years ago. I was telling them about boundaries when I first started to learn about them. And this family member said, well, I hope you don't use those boundaries on me. They're one of the many people that I needed to establish boundaries with, okay? Because they saw it as abandonment. They saw it as cruelty. They saw it as they were already inside my velvet rope. And therefore, they didn't need expressed written consent to get inside of it. Which, by the way, no one is allowed inside of you but you. Okay? No one's allowed inside of your personal relationship. Not your children, not your mother-in-law, no one. Okay? So, once again, be aware. Okay? Boundaries can be really super, super, super challenging when we're starting to establish them with those that we haven't had them before. Okay? We could spend about 400 years on boundaries, and we just may sometime. All right. So let's jump into some Q&A. I already see a hand raised by Janae and Andre. Here's what we're going to do. For those of you that have not been on calls like this before, we're going to invite you right now to take the next 60 seconds, get your pen and paper out. Everybody is going to write down a question. Everybody. Now, whether or not you ask it, that's another question. Okay, you may not. That's okay. But we want everyone to get into a space, take some breaths, and really consider, what question do I want to ask about relationships? What's going on? What keeps me up at night? Is it about communication? Is it about fighting? Is it about sex? Is it about intimacy? Is it about conflict? Is it about betrayal? Is it about any number of things? Okay. So take a moment, write down a question. This is what your question will sound like. My question is, and then you write it down. Okay. So when you get up on to, and we call on you, you will say, my question is. Now, here's what we don't want to hear. We love you, but we don't need to hear the 3-minute story that's going to prepare me and Paige to hear your question. We love you, but we just want to hear the question. If we need more information, we will ask for it, I promise. Okay? This is not our first pony ride. Okay. If we need more clarifying information, we'll ask you. Okay? So my question is, and then you will say that question. Okay. I'm sure it has been 60 seconds. So we will start with the person who has their hand raised. I see Janae is fastidiously writing her question down to make sure that it fits the proper alignment. Yes. Is this your first time on these calls, Janae?
Yes.
Andre? Yes. Well, welcome. Are we a designated couple? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah.
Are you calling yourselves a couple? Okay. You never know. I mean, we got brothers and sisters.
We're in bed together, so
We're
if-
married.
we're in bed
Well,
together. Too,
I
so
could.
that might be
Well,
like-
hey, you know what? Just because you're in bed together, hey, you know, you
That's very true. You never know. Like,
Just saying. Just saying. I'm just saying. So no, I didn't see the ring. So yes. And you know what? These days with rings, you don't know. So welcome to the call. Welcome. Y'all got here through TikTok. Is that how you found us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. So your question is.
my question is, if you could clarify a statement you made earlier. Let me see if I can remember it. You said, her responsibility is to share her emotions and for us to take action. Could you talk about that versus the idea of fixing people's problems, right? Like sometimes people just want to vent. They don't want you to fix their problem. So how are those two things different, or how do they relate to each other?
It's a great question, Andre. Is it Andres? Andre?
Andres.
Andres. Okay. I like to get names right because I'm David, definitively David, never Dave, by the way. Okay. If you call me Dave, I won't answer. Love you. And my last name is Lee, not Leah. Okay. Back in the day when we got telemarketing calls, I always knew it was somebody I didn't know. Mr. Leah there? No, he's not. Bye-bye. So, Andres, we are to receive all the emotions. As the masculine man, we're to receive all of her emotions. And the primary way, and this takes, boy, does this take reps. And Paige can speak to this specifically from the feminine. But again, the feminine's primary way of communication to ensure she gets what she wants, craves, and desires is through I feel statements. Okay. When we hear an I feel statement, okay, when Janae, is it Janae? Is that how you say it? Janae? Yeah, cool. When Janae says to you, Andres, I feel frustrated about what's going on, whatever it is. Okay. You hear, you validate, you listen, don't fix. Okay. You simply listen to the expression of her emotion, ask for clarification. It is her responsibility to give you clarification if there is something for you to do, to take action, to find resolution. If you don't automatically take action and resolution, she probably just wants to be heard, which, by the way, nobody wants to be fixed. Okay. If somebody wants to be fixed, if somebody's looking for advice, that's codependency. Okay. We are not to fix anyone. All right. So if she says, I feel frustrated about this particular situation, whatever it is, I feel frustrated. Babe, tell me more. In fact, I said that to Paige a couple of times today over a text message. She sent some I feel statements over text messages. And I said, baby, tell me more. Help me understand. What else?
Yes.
Okay. And then it's her responsibility, it's the feminine's responsibility to continue to express, to get it all out. And it's okay if she just starts spewing shit. Okay. Especially as she is trying to understand. Yeah. Does this raining true? You too? Yeah. It's like, oh, damn, here comes the shit spill. It's okay. Again, it is the work of the masculine to provide that seawall for her crashing emotions to come into it. And sometimes that seawall has to get higher. You feel me? Y'all feel me? Yeah. Okay. Because sometimes Janae is going to come to you and it's bad. She's exhausted. She's fed up. She's frustrated. She's angry. She's livid. Or she's exhilarated. She's excited. She's aroused. She's joyful, whatever the case may be. Okay. We are the wall. Okay. Not to keep her away, but to receive all that fluidity, because it's absolutely normal for the feminine's emotion to be everywhere. The feminine emotion is chaotic. It's chaos. It's supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be all over the place. Okay. That's why we leverage the illustration. The masculine is the container. The water inside of it is the feminine. Without the container, where does the fluid go, Andres?
Not in the container, wherever. Spilled.
Everywhere. Everywhere. Yes. Okay. This is why wounded masculine response to feminine's emotion is, you're crazy. You're too much. What's wrong with you? Calm down. By the way, gentlemen, ladies, you don't need to listen to this. Gentlemen, don't ever say calm down to a woman. Just saying. Okay. Just saying. Okay. Because her emotions are not supposed to calm down, and they won't. Okay. Does that help? Okay. Paige, you have anything to add from the feminine?
I do. I do have a few things to add here. So sometimes, Andres, you will learn more about Janae in the moment by asking a simple question. If she is getting hung up in her dysregulation and is not articulating what she needs clearly with you or at all, which might happen, you can ask, what do you need from me right now? What do you need from me right now, to help bring some clarity to you about what she needs and what she's looking for? Sometimes all I need to do, as you mentioned, is just let it out. I just need to vent, and I will communicate that in the moment. I'm not looking for any fix or response I just need to speak. And so David knows very clearly, like, okay, this is great. I'm just going to hold the space for her to be able to release this. Secondly, if you are in a place in your body, back to boundaries, where you cannot hold Janae's emotion in that moment, you have to be able to communicate that in a way that feels respectful and loving. Baby, I love you so much and I want to hold space for you, and I cannot do it right now. I do not have that capacity right now. I would love to do this at 6 p.m. when I get off work, or tomorrow morning when I have more space. But be very specific in your communication that this is important for you to receive her, and that her feelings are important and are worthy of being heard, and knowing your own boundaries and your own limits that says, I know that I personally cannot take this on and hold space for her right now. And I'm going to commit to a time in the future for us to come back together on this.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Was that helpful?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Damn, you're good, babe. Damn.
Thank you.
You should do this for a living.
Okay.
Okay. We'll talk it over. Well done, babe. One thing I will also add to what Paige said is, gentlemen, we must be specific. That's part of the masculine energy, by the way, is specificity. And the feminine thrives in that. She wants to know. Okay. Especially when it comes to, we talk about this. Remember, the masculine thrives in challenge, the feminine thrives in praise. Gentlemen, we are to praise our woman all the damn time. That's what she thrives in, is praise, not us. Okay, we don't need praise, which, by the way, don't coddle your man. Don't ooh and goo over him, okay? We thrive in challenge. We want to be challenged, which, by the way, when the feminine expresses through I feel statements, it's a challenge for us to investigate, perhaps find resolution or a solution. It's a challenge. We're always challenged, okay? When we are complimenting, we are praising our woman. Be specific. Go beyond, babe, you're hot. Okay, we need more. Okay, she's probably been told that 1,000 times. Okay, be specific. I love the way that the top is surrounding Paige's body tonight. I love her makeup, her hair as it cascades down on her shoulders. Yeah, we're going to start getting into dirty poetry in a minute. Okay, but be specific in your compliments. When you're complimenting her about perhaps her work or how hard she works at home, how amazing mother she is, be specific on why you're saying that. She will appreciate it. Okay, cool. All right, next we have Christine. Come off of mute.
Hello.
What is your question?
Hi. My question is, would you recommend using dating sites to practice my boundaries and my I feel statements?
It's a great question. What I will say is, overall, okay, I would not recommend dating sites. Okay, and here's the reason why. Okay, typically, dating sites, for all those, anybody in the dating space, anybody in the looking space, maybe?
I'm about to enter back in there.
She's about to enter back in there. Okay. So what we will say is, we discourage dating sites for this reason, is they typically promote inverted polarity. They typically promote masculine in women and feminine in men, because a lot of pursuit goes on in dating sites for the woman to chase the man. Bumble, for example, at least it was when I was dating, it is built on the fact that the woman takes the first step and reaches out to the man first, which I understand. I get it. I understand why that's in there. Okay. But it also says this, is everybody is in the same dating pool. Okay. There is absolutely, at the first blush, there's absolutely no reason for anyone to reach out to that person based only on a picture and a few things about a bio. Okay. What we recommend is meeting somebody organically. And how do you meet somebody organically? You go where you want to be, not where they are. I've had women say, oh, so I'm going to go hang out at Home Depot. If you like Home Depot, sure. But if you hate Home Depot and you don't even know what nails are, why are you going there? Okay. Go where you love to go and be. Okay. Live your life. Okay. And you may be thinking, well, a guy's not going to walk into a yoga class. Are you sure? In fact, one of the things that brought Paige and I together was yoga. Not literally, but Paige and I met in a very organic space. We were on a virtual retreat for coaches. So simply by her being on the call, checked about 42 boxes of mine instantly. It was like, well, she's into personal development. She's blah, 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 blah. I mean, it wasn't like we were, so what do you like to do? You know, how many kids you got? Are you still bitter about your ex? I mean, so now here's what I want to say, and I'd love to hear Paige's response to this too. We mentioned earlier, and Jason Prayson was mentioning this, reps, 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 reps. And as you said, Christine, it's like practice. Huh, practice, practice. Huh, practice. If, okay, you feel clear about your intentions, if you can remain in your feminine energy, if you can remain in a space where men are pursuing you, you're not calling them, you're not waiting by the phone, right? You're wondering why they haven't texted, all that stuff, okay? And it feels like it's practice. Dating is practice. Dating is practice. You want to get to the place, Christine, as you enter into the dating space, to say this. I used to say this when I was in the dating space. I never have a bad first date. I never had a bad first date. Ever. You know why? Because I was there. And what I mean by that is because I was doing the work. I had a blast. I had fun, regardless of the person across the table was any fun. Now, as I got more and more refined and began to heal more and more and more, I wasn't going on first dates with somebody that I wasn't already really interested in. It wasn't like, well, we'll see how it goes. No, I'm not gonna, I got shit to do. I ain't wasting my time, right? So there was a lot of vetting prior to the date. So a lot of that can happen in the dating space from a dating app, and you're communicating and you're seeing, does this man live in his masculinity? Based on, you can tell that very quickly by text messages or by the phone call or by FaceTime, right? And as you get more and more refined, Christine, as you begin to heal more and more and more, those things are going to come right up. People will say, how do I know I'm healing? People say this all the time. How do I become more refined? How do I not waste my time in the dating space? Heal. Because the more you heal, the time will shrink. And you'll be like, oh, no, nope, nope. And you won't even entertain that. You won't think, oh, you know what? He's okay. No, we don't deal with okay. We deal with 10s out of 10, right? Because you're worthy of that. And you are spending time now understanding that and finding and doing reps in that. If you feel like you can remain in your feminine energy while doing so, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Paige, any thoughts?
I agree 100%. 100%. If you feel so comfortable and confident in your intention, go for it. I love your intention for practice. I think that's really beautiful and a beautiful way to wade into these waters, these new waters for you. So have fun with it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We do not give cheers. Let's give some cheers to Jason and Andres and Christine. Come on now, everybody, let's go. Come on. Come on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thanks for being brave and courageous.
Praise men.
What's that?
I thought you said you don't praise men.
Oh, well, in this case, we do. It's not sappy. It's not sappy. It
Yeah.
doesn't go
Sorry.
on and on and
Taking a
on and
jab.
on.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, don't apologize. Nope. By the way, here's a little nugget. Ready? Never apologize. Nope. Don't apologize. Only apologize if you intentionally hurt someone. And sometimes unintentionally. Later you'll find out, oh man. Okay. Then understand, have a conversation, and apologize if necessary. Okay. But the word SORRY is overused, is it not? I hear all the time, oh sorry, oh sorry, oh sorry, oh sorry, oh sorry, oh sorry. especially women, okay, who think they're in the way in the grocery line, right? Okay, you're not in the way. You get to take as much space as possible. Okay. And by the way, Andres, I appreciate being called out. That was great. Seriously, I love it. I love feedback. So, all right. Do we have live questions? Do we have some questions in the chat?
There were a couple of questions
Okay.
in the chat here. Is it Tanya? Yeah. Tanya, since you're on video, let's go ahead and take your question now, if you're open to that.
Absolutely. Yes. So how do you heal when it comes to money in a marriage where it's expected to be half and half, like roommates?
Yeah, that's tough. I can see the expression on your face, like, yeah, this is not what I want. Fair? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah. Provide a little bit more. What has is this an understanding, a long-term understanding? Everything's 50-50, you both work, kind of provide a little bit more context. Here.
Yeah, in the beginning, we both worked full-time.
Mhm.
And then I've had some emotional issues where I've had to step back from full-time, but the expectation is still there to bring in a certain amount of money per month.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so what is that happening? Is that the strain? You're bringing in money?
Yeah,
Kinda
so my husband brings in, he's working full-time, so he's bringing in more money. We have a lot of bills and it's very stressful for him.
Mhm.
I don't work full-time. I'm doing the best that I can with what I have. And so it's becoming really difficult for us to coexist when it comes to money.
Mhm. Yeah, boy, I feel you. I feel you. Do y'all have children?
No.
No. Okay. And you're married.
Yes.
There's okay. Cool. Is he aware of your frustration, your stress level, your anxiety, is everything kind of on the table?
Yeah, I'm pretty transparent with how I'm
Mhm.
feeling.
Mm-hmm. You said pretty transparent.
Yeah. Well, I'm very clear.
Okay.
I deal with anxiety and some depression at times, and being consistent with a full-time job is not something I can do.
Mm-hmm.
So I do let him know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how does this work? What is this a daily argument? Is it kind of what?
No, he's not a communicator and doesn't really express his frustrations until it just all comes out at once, and that I'm not consistent with work, with my hours. I didn't bring this amount of money in this month.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Tanya, is it Tanya? Tanya?
Tanya.
Tanya, great. Tanya. If you could wave a magic wand, Tanya, what would it look like? If you could get off this call and go, oh, they just gave me the magic dust, what would it look like?
What it would look like is that I have goals, and what I do for my career, and I would love to support him. I mean, I would love to, help him retire early and, not have the stress of money, make enough where, we're comfortable. If I could wave a wand, that's what I do, because what I do is part-time, but I love what I do.
Yeah. Tanya, are you familiar with our coaching and teaching on polarity, masculine and feminine energy, and all of that? Is that?
Yeah, I've been
Okay.
watching TikTok, both of you and Paige, and been
Mhm.
learning a lot.
Mm-hmm. What are you learning specifically about feminine and magic? Magic. Wow. Well, yeah. Feminine and masculine energy.
I'm learning about wounded feminine and wounded masculine, and then I delved into another rabbit hole where adult children of alcoholics, and then kind of trying to piece that together, how that has something to do with wounded feminine and masculine, and so yeah, I'm still learning, figure that out.
Yeah. The reason why I ask is it's super important for both the masculine and feminine to have an anchor, to have anchoring, to have grounding, to have something to stand in and on. Okay. So if it is your desire, if it is your craving, Tanya, to be more in your core feminine energy, if that is what you feel, if that is what you desire, if that's what you want, then we can continue to have a conversation about what it means for you as a feminine woman to live in her feminine in this particular situation. Is that reigning true? Is that, yes, I want to be in a surrendering energy. I want to be in my radiance. I want to be, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the smile come over your face, right? This feels like this is where you want to be. Fair? Yeah. Yeah. Is this new? Of you understanding feminine, masculine energy? Is this something that,
about a year or so, I've been working for a network chiropractic doctor, and he told me that I've been in my masculine for too long.
Yeah. Is that fully understood for you? Like, yep, I get it.
Yes, because I had to step into my father's shoes fairly young when he passed away young. So, yeah.
So something to take into account. There is severe conflict when two masculine energies are coming forward. When you have two giving energies coming forward, you're going to have conflict every single time. When you have two feminine energies recessing, nothing gets done. Right?
Yeah.
It's like what happens on Friday night. So where do you want to go to dinner, babe? I don't know. Where do you want to go? I don't know. Where do you want to go? I don't know. You want to go there? I don't know if I want to go. I don't feel like that. And then you get pissed off and order pizza, whatever. Right. So, but when two masculine energies come forward, which it sounds like from a financial stance, two masculine energies were coming forward, both providing, both giving. Fair in your relationship at some point when you first got together? Yeah. And because of circumstances and health and all of that, right, because of time, you have had to or have chosen to take some steps back from a financial standpoint, right? And so now it may be, and I don't know all of the health issues that are going on, okay? By the way, and this is for Tanya and everyone, okay? Health issues, okay? Somatically, which is the body, emotionally, whatever, okay? They all derive from unprocessed trauma. Every health issue, ladies and gentlemen, okay? It's because trauma is entrapped in your nervous system and needs to be processed and released. So Tanya, because of where you came from, if we were working together, right, I would be asking and we'd be digging into questions about, yeah, I had to step into my father's shoes. Yeah, but you've been in your masculine. Now, at one point, you attracted, and here's the deal, here's the science of polarity, ladies and gentlemen, okay, is a woman who is more in her masculine, like Tanya has been, will attract a man who is more in his feminine. It's science. It's not, it's just the way it is, okay? But now it may sound like, it may be that your partner, right, obviously has been in a giving and a providing space, right? But there was an attraction at one point, and now your health issues may be forcing you to recess and surrender into your feminine energy. And that may be a sign. We believe in signs and wonders, right? We believe in things bigger and obscure that we can't see. This may be an opportunity for you to go, huh, what would it look like for me to be in my feminine more so? Now, here's the deal. It's back to the boundaries conversation we had at the top of the call. So if you come now to your partner and go, okay, I just want to stay home. I don't want to work. I'm being feminine. He's probably going to be like, hey, excuse me? Pardon me?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you know, I don't know your partner, but it's like, excuse me, right? I've just changed the dance. Yes. So this is a very, very, very intentional and can be a slow process. But this may be an opportunity, right, for you to say, what would it mean for me to continue to heal my masculine and feminine wounding, right? And we're going to talk at the end of the call on some of those first steps that you can take with us, certainly, or, you know, find ways in which to do so. To really understand that, here's the key, is to be communicating this with your partner. Like, this is what I'm discovering. I'm discovering that I want to be in my feminine. And there may be some resistance to this. Absolutely. Okay. This happens all the time with partners. One person is educated and learning and healing, and the other person's like, huh? What? Wait a minute. Whoa, what's wrong with you? What's going on? Why are you changing? Right. So know this, that money, the financial strain that you're facing right now, is simply a symptom. It's not about money. Okay. Has nothing to do with the money. It has to do with energetics. It has to do with an understanding of boundaries and what you desire out of life and where you have been and the wounds that have prevented you from moving forward. It just happens to be money is the stressor. Okay. Because money, by the way, money is feminine. The making of money is masculine. Okay. Money is feminine. It's fluid. It flows in and out. Right? Some of you are like, yeah, it's flowing in and out of my bank account too fast. Shut it down, bro. Okay. But money is fluid and it's to move through. It's a tool, right? Not that this is going to be financial coaching 101, right? But that is a symptom, just like the symptoms that you may be facing from an emotional or physical standpoint. Okay. If we were to continue the conversation, right, into what does it mean to really begin to heal those wounds, we would begin to identify, okay, those original incidences, those original traumas that I experienced when I was 7 or 10 or 12 or whatever the case may be, we're going to begin to build a new relationship, as Paige was illustrating earlier about parts. There are parts of you that are traumatized, okay? Because Tanya isn't, by the way. Tanya is not traumatized. There are parts of you that are, which can provide you a lot of peace. Like, oh, I'm not effed up. No, you're not. You're not broken, and you're not a hot mess. There are parts of you that are saying, Tanya, hello, hello, and they may be triggering in the form of emotional or physical symptoms.
Yes.
And again, yeah, go ahead. Were you gonna say something?
Oh, no, I disagree. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah. What was landing just there? What did you agree with?
The emotions and how they're manifesting themselves in my body.
Mm-hmm.
It's the work on my spinal care, my nervous system, all of that is I feel like I've been on this healing journey for over a year now, and I've gotten better in many ways. So I'm looking forward to healing further.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Paige, do you have anything you wanted to add for Tanya?
Being on the journey for a year now is worth celebrating, and plan to be on this journey for the rest of your life. That might feel heavy and disappointing to hear, but it's a direction for as long as you choose to continue to lean into this work. It is a direction. It is not a destination. And so that can feel really heavy and also really relieving, perhaps at the same time. Like, okay, great. I don't have to get somewhere specific. Okay, great. Today is going to look different than yesterday, and tomorrow is going to look different from today. And on all 3 of those days, I know that I'm committed to the betterment of me. Additionally, the work that you love to do so much and are feeling burdened by your energetic capacity, like you feel like you can't lean into this work that really brings you a lot of joy, that's what I'm interested in. That's what I'm interested in, is you finding regulation and restoration to the energetic and emotional body so that you have the capacity to lean into this work that brings you life. That's important.
It's true. I have a lot of work to do. I am helping others too. So as I'm healing, I'm helping others to heal. So I want to be able to give as much as I can.
Yeah. At the end of the call, we'll talk briefly about a 7-day mini course, 7-day opportunity to continue to lean into your feminine energy and how to build restoration for you to find more regulation in your body so that you can come out of those masculine behaviors and those masculine tactics and lean even deeper with a lot more trust and connection into who you are at your core. That could be a nice place for you to land and start.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for sharing, Tanya.
You're welcome.
Yes. Give some praise to Tanya. Yes. Thank you so much for being here. Great question. Okay. All right.
There were
I think I saw
go
a
ahead.
question from, what did you say, baby?
Yeah, there were a few other questions in the chat.
Yeah. I think I saw Valerie's question. Did I not before?
Valerie.
Saw a question by Valerie. Valerie's on the call. I see her live in the
There she is.
in the wed sweatshirt. Okay. All right. You want to come off of mute, Valerie, and ask your question? Maybe.
Here, let's try now.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
What's your question?
Okay, so I have been a single lady for about 15 years, and I have 4 daughters. And with that, I got very strong in my masculine and found a new. In that, you feel very empowered. And I probably the pendulum swung so far the other direction, it became very difficult to now be in a place where I can allow someone to like take the lead and make decisions and all that. My problem is now when I'm actually in a place where I would love to relinquish some of that, my partner is not a person to do that. He doesn't make decisions and he doesn't take the lead and he doesn't really engage and he just kind of follows me. And I've tried to actually explain a little bit about this and what I'm learning. And as soon as like the word energies and stuff like that came up, like the eyes rolled. And so I really don't know how to like swing that conversation around, I guess, to kind of, because I really honestly feel like I'm probably whatever endeavor I choose on self-improvement, things like that, I'm probably in it alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that. And I'm going to continue, Valerie, with what you just said. Because ultimately, whether we're in a partnership, marriage, couple, whatever the case may be, your journey is yours and yours alone, right?
Got
So
it.
yes, it can be frustrating. You're like, so I want to be feminine. So that means you got to be in your masculine, bruh. Right? And he's like, excuse me? And your journey is your journey. So if you're choosing, right, and this goes to, because I speak to a lot of ladies who, identify as single or, they're unpartnered, whatever the case may be. And they say, well, how can I be in my feminine when I have to go to work and I have to provide and I have to protect and I have to keep a house and I have to, raise children? You can, absolutely can. You must find the space and the time through your day in which to do so. You must, whether you have a masculine partner or no partner or anything. Okay. So if your work is calling for you, if you own a business, if you're in the workforce, if you're doing all that and you want to be more feminine, you must make the time and the space in which to find those surrendering moments, to be more feminine, to understand what that even means, regardless of what anybody else around you is doing or not doing.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means anymore either. Honestly, I feel like I'm doing me, whatever that means. I don't know that I've done a good job of categorizing it, because I've just been all encompassing and all of it feels like me. So I don't know even how to pick it apart to identify what is and isn't,
I do. So we have, and we can certainly, and this may be a good spot, what Paige was just discussing with Tanya, is a good first step into our Feminine 101 course that has, and Paige will take you through the understanding of, oh, that's feminine. How do I be that? How do I be more of that? How do I identify with that? When I am in my feminine or when I'm in my masculine wounding, it looks and feels like that. Okay, now intellectually, I'm going to move from there to my body. to understand what that means. And by the way, the core of the feminine energy is self-care, is taking care of you. How old are your kids? How old are your daughters, Valerie?
There, I have 4 daughters, and the last one is about to turn 18. So 18 to 32.
Okay.
So they're adults.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's your time now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the big problem is I feel more empowered in my masculine, and I've always identified being feminine as weak. And
Mhm.
I don't like the idea of being weak or perceived as needy, or, all those things that come along with needing somebody.
Mhm.
And it's hard to sort of break that down, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Valerie,
Paige.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How do you know that you want to be in your feminine energy?
I know that it's something I honestly wouldn't have even recognized it had it not been brought to my attention. And this does contradict with what I said earlier, that my partner said he wants like a feminine woman. Now, I think that means in appearance, because it's a little on the superficial side, if I had to guess on his end. But I think the energy that comes with that would also be appreciated. And it made me really look at myself and like, oh, this is who I've become. I've become like the master and commander of my ship for so long that I pretend like I'd like someone to take the reins, but then I wouldn't fully trust anybody to do it either. You
Yeah.
get so set in your ways, and you're like, I know how it has to be, and I'm a decision maker. He's not a decision maker. And it's really hard to hand that over and trust, I guess, and like let the chips fall kind of thing and look away. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels very precarious.
Are you happy with the current dynamic in the relationship? Is it
Um,
satisfying?
some is and some isn't, I think that's why I'm here.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
So-
there's something worth keeping. I just know that it can be a lot better. So I'm at least taking
Yeah.
a look at me.
Absolutely. And I do want to celebrate your awareness, and for a blind spot to be revealed by our partner can hurt and sting a lot sometimes. And for you to be open and receptive to understanding like, oh, he kind of expressed that he wants a feminine partner. What exactly does that mean? And wow, maybe I have stepped forward into my masculine a lot. Oh my gosh. And here you are on this call. So that's powerful. That is a powerful trace of steps, Valerie. And I want to celebrate you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
The next part of this is if you want to lean more into a feminine energy, and if you feel that that brings you life, then that will be the leverage that you use to continue to move forward. But if feminine energy to you right now doesn't feel attractive, then you might not be ready to move forward right now.
I do pick up on the sense that I'm sorry, and I don't mean to cut you off.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
do feel like that the masculine side of me has pushed aside like the creative side of me and the nurturing side of me and the things that make you slow down and appreciate things in the moment, because I've been in task mode for so long. And I think
Yes.
the awareness of how time is slipping away and I'm getting older, and I feel like that's become like part of it somehow. And I think part of it is me just wanting to get back to like the core me, like the girl I remember when I was a little kid that wanted to pick flowers and just like enjoy the little tiny things that we start overlooking when we're paying bills. And so it's kind of trying to honor the old me a little bit and like, okay, you powered through all this garbage and you're on this other side of it now, and I can kind of let it go. Just trying to figure out what it looks like. Yeah.
Boom, bingo. Yes. Okay. So we found the drive. You know what? I think being more connected to my body and picking wildflowers and being creative and slowing down and enjoying this life feels really attractive to me. Fantastic. You're in the right spot.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned with Tanya, the 7-day mini course, we'll share some details with that here shortly. That would be a really, really nice spot for you to start. We will dispel many of those myths where you talk about feminine feeling weak and feeling like a pushover and feeling like you don't carry any presence. We'll dispel all of that. There's a lot of myths that come with feminine energy and that come with the word surrender. And we're going to redefine that for you so that you have a different lens that feels equally as empowered as the way that you do in your masculine. It'll just be different.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Other questions right now?
I'm good.
Okay. That's fantastic. That was
Yeah.
fantastic. Thank you for
Thank-
sharing.
No, I appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, Valerie, when you stopped, and it may be over a course of some time, when you stopped and paused and thought, what do I really want? Even with the question that Paige posed, you said, wait a minute, I think I need to go back to the little girl that picked flowers. Like,
Mhm.
yeah. And from our perspective, no woman that identifies as feminine in her core energy as a little girl and that is forced or allows herself to be forced into her masculine energy. Okay. She doesn't want to be there. Not when we get to the sobriety that you just got there. I can see it in your face. You're like, yeah, I want to be a little girl. I want to dance in the rain. I want to wear a dress. I want to surrender. I want to play. I want to laugh. I want to dance. I want to feel like I'm safe and secure in doing so. Yeah. Yeah. The issue is it feels unsafe to be there. Uh-huh. Exactly. Exactly. Because once upon a time, this is for everybody, because once upon a time, there was a time and a space in which that was stripped from you.
Yeah.
That said, it's not safe to play. It's not safe to laugh. It's not safe to feel my body. It's not safe to wear a dress and frolic and pick flowers and be creative and paint and dance and laugh and carry on.
Yeah. It was
Uh-huh.
silly and it was inferior
Exactly.
and it was small and it was
Mhm.
meaningless and it was a lot of things. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Which the clinical term for that is bullshit. Hurt people, Valerie.
Yeah.
And so the reason why it was deemed as silly is because someone once upon a time told them that it was silly. Okay.
Yep.
Generational trauma is real, y'all. And you can choose. Both Paige and I have a very special place in this world in this way. Is we have both taken and chosen to be a generational breaker in our families.
Yep. Same.
No more. No more. Right? We have seen it generations in our past, and we have chosen, and it's a scary fucking place to be. Because everybody around us goes, hey, just get in line. Just be like us. What's your problem? You're weird. Yeah.
It can be a lonely place. Yeah. It
Very
can be.
lonely. Very lonely. Very lonely. We get it. we understand it. We are very lonely so much, often in our families of origin. Right.
Yeah.
And so part of that is to heal those parts of us. And that's what we take you through our courses and programs and coaching to say, oh, I don't have to have that to define me. I can go back and heal those wounds, those original wounds when it was stripped from me, when it was told that I was silly, when actually it was silly. It was the good silly, the beautiful silly, right? One of the core aspects of Paige and David's relationship is our play. We laugh all the damn time. We fart and laugh and tell jokes and dance and be idiotic and all the things. It is a core of our relationship. It's one of the many reasons why it works. But we've had to go through the same journey you are going on right now. Okay? And just because I identify as my core energy being masculine, dudes, we got to play too. We got to have fun. We got to let loose. We must connect to our feminine energies too, right? But that is where your body wants to live. That's where you want to be, in that primary space of femininity. And you can, I promise. You're doing such a good job. Absolutely. I love that. You hear that? It's a little giggle. That's a little girl. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Remember? Yeah, there you go. Keep going. I love it. Fantastic. Let's give Valerie a hand. Great job, Valerie. Thank you so much. All right. Let's see. I think we'll go ahead. If no one has any other questions.
I, at one
Just looking through the
point,
chat. Yep.
thought I
Go ahead, baby.
saw a
Oh,
question from Markia, but I can't seem to find it. Maybe I'm not.
Markia, is she still here? Can you come off of mute and ask the question if you have one, Markia?
Maybe she
I don't
didn't.
see it either.
Either way,
Okay.
if we feel complete.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So
Yeah.
we promised you, we promised a couple of you ladies specifically. Oh, go ahead, babe.
Coming off mute
Oh.
isn't working. Let's
Oh.
try this.
Hello?
There she is.
Hi.
I kept trying to press unmute and it just was not working. So thank you.
You're welcome,
But
Markia.
yeah,
What's your question?
so my question is, it was kind of towards like the beginning, was like, how do you handle upholding boundaries when it's with someone that's like a very high conflict person, but it's not somebody that you can just like cut them out of your life and no longer engage with them?
Who is it?
My kid's dad.
Okay. Mhm. And when you say you can't cut them out of your life, what does cut mean?
Just like not engage with the conversation sometimes, because he'll weave in important things that I do need to respond to with insults and name calling and
Mhm.
stuff that I don't tolerate, which is why we're no longer together. And so trying to navigate that, I guess, in a way that's like not, because it's triggering for me to like have to deal with that constantly. And so trying to figure out how, yeah, because normally if it was somebody like that, I would just cut them out. Like, all right, you know my boundaries. You are no longer respecting them. Like, I can't have this person in my life anymore. But like, I can't do that with him.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it, Markia. Your kid's young. How old are your
Yeah.
kids?
She's gonna be 6.
Okay. Okay. So you have one daughter?
Yeah, I have 2 kids, but my
2
youngest
kids.
is yeah.
Mid-6. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And this communication, is this about co-parenting? Is it about money? Is it about visitation? Is it about, yeah.
It is presented in a way that's under the guise of co-parenting. But like I said, it'll be like things that I would have to respond to, like schooling or who's going to pay for this, who's going to pay for that. But then he'll also throw in like insults and calling me names and saying I'm useless. But then like also sprinkle in, okay, so what are we going to do for this break? Or, can you watch her for this time? But then again, going into spewing like name calling and stuff. And it's like,
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, I get it. Here's the opportunity to heal the part of you that is taking it personal.
Mhm.
That's really the key here, right?
Mhm.
Because as long as we continue to receive, we allow, it's not a matter of whether the communication comes through. Because the communication comes through, you need to know what's going on spring break. You need to know what's going on Christmas and who's paying this bill and all that's necessary co-parenting information. But as far as the other things that come through, you have absolute control on how you receive them.
Mhm.
Right. And so if it is landing and it's triggering, that's the work. That's your work, is to understand why is it triggering when someone insults me? Which sounds like, well, duh, of course it would hurt my feelings, but it's not a duh.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not a duh. So, and I'll give you an example. And I've been in some spaces and places just like you in a co-parenting situation. And so I get it. But I will tell you, in our current work, I get disparaging comments about me every day, about how I'm an idiot, I'm a misogynist, I'm a chauvinistic, I'm a narcissist. I'm called names every single day. And in the past, that would have really struck deep into my heart. And I would want to try to defend myself. How dare they? Don't they know me? I need to go and force them to understand who I am because it's not true.
Mhm.
When in reality, Go ahead.
Oh no, I just said I used to be that way with him a lot.
Yeah.
I've changed quite a bit, but yeah, I get that.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, part of this is back to the reps conversation, but the work, your work, because you can't control him, right, Markia?
Right.
Have you figured that one out? Right. By the way, we
Unfortunately,
can't
yes.
control. Yeah, we can't control anybody, right? We can't control anybody. So, so what we can control, what we do have autonomy over, is how we receive, how we respond or don't respond.
Mhm.
So if we look at it as his wounding, he's needing to say those things for whatever his wounding is dictating. Okay.
Mhm.
And this is a very surface level on what do you do
Mhm.
on this. But if you begin to look at it and say, you know what, I'm going to look at the communication that comes and just address what needs to be addressed. Because the reality is, if you're continuing to take that on, there's a part of you, Markia, that still believes it. I'm going to say that again. There's a part of you that still believes it.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the work here is to heal that part that says, huh, I think you are worthless, Markia, the part is speaking. Okay. Not
Mhm.
me.
Mhm.
Okay. It says you are worthless. Let's find the evidence of that. Right. Now, the reason, by the way, the reason why that part is speaking to you in that way, believe it or not, is an attempt to keep you safe.
Hmm.
Because if you believe that it's true, then you won't have to go forward and perhaps find additional wounding that may need to be healed.
Hmm.
Because if you stay in this banterish relationship with your former partner, then it stays the same and it's familiar. So if you begin to lift up those rocks and look underneath and say, oh, huh, maybe that's not true, then what is true?
Yeah.
What's landing there? What are you hearing?
Yeah, and I've been in therapy for a long time, so like I've
Mhm.
for the most part, like that's what I think, but then it's like when he is activated, it is so frequent that it's like, oh my God, okay, well, am I useless? It's like
Sure.
every
Yeah.
every
Yeah,
comment
no,
is
I
like
get it.
this, that,
Sure.
and this, and that. It's like,
Yep.
okay,
Yep.
dude, like, can we just chill
Mhm.
and like get to the core of it? Like, I
Right.
understand that, and you're fine to believe whatever you want to believe, but like,
Mhm.
let's just stop.
Yep.
And
Yep.
yeah,
No, I
yeah.
get it. I get it. I'll use a personal example. Paige and I were having a conversation the other night, and I've been in this space with her. She was in this space this particular time where she needed simple reassurance that she wasn't crazy about a particular scenario. Right. And this is work that she does, and she leads women through this. Right. And I've been in that space with her. Like, check me on this. Am I right? Is to find those with whom you trust and to say, hey, I'm feeling this way right now. There's a part of me that kind of believes this. Am I off here? Am I weird? Am I crazy? And sometimes just speaking that can provide the beginning to heal.
Yeah.
By saying, huh, you know what? I need to look at those words, actually, not ignore them. This is a myth, right? Not shoo them away, but actually receive them and say, wait, is this even true? And if it isn't true, it's based on what? Somebody else's wounding. Oh. Okay. Because when someone insults, that's their parts, that's their traumatized parts, attempting to protect them, and has nothing to do with you. And I get it, it's hard. You share a child together. There's emotional stuff. There's history. I get it. It's hard. It's hard. But that is the work, Markia. Okay. Is to begin to have a conversation with the part that says, oh, you are worthless. I am? Huh. Paige, do you have anything you wanted to add?
If it really is, to me, what you're describing, I would not tolerate that. I would not tolerate that, and I would very firmly use my voice. And I don't know what you have communicated with him thus far as your boundaries go and what you choose to receive. But I can see the side of the coin that says, let's keep this as business as possible and just receive what you need to hear as far as the kiddo goes, and then disregard the rest. But then the other side of the coin says, if the rest continues to happen over and over and over again, then a line needs to be drawn, at least in my mind, in my body. So I think that is for you to decide where your edge is, where your line is, what you have communicated thus far, and how you would feel most regulated moving forward in this dynamic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I've pretty clearly expressed the boundary, and when it gets like excessive, I'm like, okay, like this is you have to stop. And I feel like he just like doubles down on it, and then I just have to like disengage or block him for a little bit and just like go on about my life because it gets bad. And like what he's doing is not technically like legal, so I can't like bringing my lawyer into it doesn't really like help. It's like, you know, he's not like stalking me or anything like that. So he basically gets away with it, and he knows that. We've spent lots and lots and lots of money on lawyers, and so he kind of knows what he can get away with. And so that's kind of where I'm struggling. And I agree with everything you guys said. So
yeah, Marquis, I think again, we can't control what an attorney does. We can't control what the partner does. We can't control anything, but we can control ourselves. You can only have the autonomy over how you're receiving what he's bringing. And yes, if we're forced and we can't shut it down, right? We just can't cut him out. And I get it. You can't. You have a child together. You have to, you know, but you can control what comes into your nervous system and how you receive it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah. 100%. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Absolutely. Thank you for being here. Let's give Marquia a hand. Yes. Thank you, Marquia. Thanks for being here. Okay. We are at time. Before we jump off, you all have, those of you that registered, obviously you registered, you're here. You all have an email in your email box right now that has some more information about our programs. Specifically, what I wanted to touch base on is the program that Paige was specifically talking about. And I'm just going to show a slide real quick. Thank you so much for all being here. We're just going to be on for a couple more minutes, so you can hang tough with it if you really want this information. We'd love for you to stay on. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. All right. Let's see if it'll switch over. There we go. There it is. So, ladies, yes, and gentlemen on the call, this is not for you. Okay. There are other ways in which to work with us, but this is not it. Okay. Andres and Jason are like, can I be in Feminine Energy 101? Because it would be a great learning experience, but there are plenty of other places. So ladies, this is our introductory 7-day mini course. It's called Feminine Energy 101. Okay. It is led by Paige Stewart. You may know her. She's on the call right now. And then I have some contribution in that course as well. It is a self-led video course in which Paige will teach you the very beginning, the steps into beginning to heal your feminine wounding and masculine wounding and all the things that we were talking about specifically tonight. So if you are wanting to make a decision to step into the waters, stick your toe into the healing space and begin to work with us and allow us to begin to guide you along those paths to answer those questions about how do I become more feminine? How do I relinquish my masculine energy, ladies? How do I hold boundaries? All of the things that we touched on tonight. This is a fantastic way to begin. And I'm going to be quiet, let Paige speak. Yes. Yeah, go ahead, babe.
Yeah, this is a really nice tiptoe into understanding more about you. There's a question in the chat from Christine. Can you start anytime? Yes. You can have access as soon as you get off the call tonight to day one. And then you will receive access to videos for 7 whole days. And you can expect to spend anywhere between 10 minutes and maybe 30 minutes a day, depending on how long the exercises take you. It comes with a 35, 36 page workbook that walks you through as with journaling exercises as you navigate the video lessons. So it's as hands-on as you can get for a 7-day video lesson program. It is really, really potent. As I mentioned before, we break down a lot. We crash into the molds of the, sorry, I'm getting distracted here. We crash into surrender and what people believe it is. And then we allow you to redefine that in a way that feels empowering to you, not passive, not pushover. And yeah, it offers a taste into how I lead, which I lead these courses and programs. We have signature programs and beyond this one. So if this resonates, what you've heard in this conversation tonight, this would be a really, really nice step for you.
Mhm. All right.
And the link is in the chat. I believe you have an email too,
Mhm.
in your email that contains the
Yep.
link to this.
Yep.
If you have questions, you can always just send me an email directly or David an email,
Mhm.
and I'd be happy to get those answered for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So you all have an email in your email right now that has a link to our brand new, and I mean brand new as in yesterday, our brand new website. So, and on that website, you can find out more about David, more about Paige and our programs, and links to all of our programs. If you are interested in diving very deep into masculine and feminine healing, I do work with both men and women in a one-on-one coaching capacity as well. And that information is on the website and through the link that's in your email right now. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you all for being here. I hope it's been impactful. It's been insightful. We are so blessed and honored to be doing this work and to spend time with folks like you. So thanks for taking your time tonight on this call. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I see things coming through the chat. Absolutely. You are so welcome. So continue to follow us on the TikTok. And if you're not following us on YouTube, you will find much more video content specifically from David and Paige together. And then jump into our private Facebook group. If you do the Facebook thing, you'll be able to find that link. Where will you be able to find that? Oh, on YouTube, you'll be able to find that link. So we're on Instagram as well. So we're everywhere. So if you want to get tired of David and Paige, you can, very, very easy to do so. So thanks for being here and have a great night. We will see you soon.
Yes. Thank
care.
you all so much. We'll see you next
Bye-bye.
time. Bye.